What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Happy Halloween. And in honor of Halloween, I'm going to be giving you my 5 favorite Halloween memories. And they're not going to be in any particular order, but a lot of these memories are very dear to me and bring back a lot of good emotions. My first memory would be back when I was a kid. I grew up starting to go trick-or-treating in the early 80s. And everybody from that time period would definitely remember those cheap plastic costumes that had that really cheap face mask that you could barely breathe out of. And by the end of the night, your face was completely saturated with the sweat from your breathing. Let alone no one could really understand you say trick or treat because you're only talking through a slit that big. But I was able to pick out my first Halloween costume that wasn't one of these little in-the-box plasticky ones, and it was Jason from Friday the 13th. I absolutely loved that costume, and I basically made it myself. I went out and bought a hockey mask. I drilled out the holes to make it look like the Jason mask. I painted the little triangles on it, and I dressed up as Jason. Now, I couldn't find a toy machete, so the only thing I had to work with was a chef knife, which is Michael Myers' weapon. But I was Jason all the same for Halloween. My next favorite memory had to do with when I got too old to go trick-or-treating. My mom put an age limit on it. After you hit 12, you didn't go trick-or-treating anymore. So I then resorted to scaring kids. I would dress up, hide in the shadows, and wait for kids as they were either coming up to the house or leaving the house. Usually it was leaving the house when I caught them, and just scaring the shit out of them. And there's one kid in particular. I was hiding in the carport, which was dark. This kid comes walking up, walked right past me to the door where my mom was, got his candy, was walking back down the walkway, stopped right in front of me to tie his shoes. And I could have sworn he looked right in my direction, and I thought I was made. But as he stood up and started walking back down the driveway, I came flying out of the shadows, roared as loud as I could at the kid. The kid dropped his candy bag and bolted down the street. I picked up the candy bag and ran after the kid to give him his candy bag back, and this kid was not stopping for anything. Luckily, he ran into his parents, screaming and hollering, and I came up running up behind him. They were a little pissed that I scared them, but I was trying to tell them, look, hey, I was trying to give him his candy bag back so he didn't lose it. So it was a kind of funny memory I got to scare the shit out of a kid and got yelled at in the process for doing it. My next favorite memory has to do with The Nightmare Before Christmas. More specifically, the song This Is Halloween. Love the song, but the reason why this is a memory of mine is one of my best friends, little kid, tried to sing it. And all of us have done it before. When we were kids, we'd sing songs and not get the words right. And he would sing Biscuits Follow Me, which both his mom and I laughed at. And like I said, every time I hear that song, in the back of my head, I'm hearing this kid singing Biscuits Follow Me, which is probably the most adorable thing I have ever heard. My next favorite memory goes back to being a roadie with Frankie and the Actions. Every Halloween, we played at a bar called Ape Hangers. It was a biker bar down in Southern Maryland, and we'd always do a Halloween show. And the band would decorate the whole stage, put cobwebs up, police tape, gravestones. The band would dress up, and every once in a while, the roadies would dress up as well. One year, the road crew dressed up as clergymen, and my favorite year, all of us dressed up as pirates. And Joan, one of my good friends, gave us all these eye patches that you could actually see through, so they wouldn't really mess up your vision. And I had the triangular pirate hat, and I had this little rubber ducky sitting in the top of the hat, and it looked pretty funny. But part of me said I needed to stand out a little. Everyone's okay, we're all dressed up as pirates. I need to look different than everybody else. So I walked up to Joan and asked her if she had, I told her, I lost my eye patch. Do you have another one? Yeah. So she reaches in her purse, gives me another eye patch. So I go walking into the back in the kitchen, take my hat off, and put the second eye patch on. So now here I am as a pirate with 2 eye patches, and I come walking out and look straight at Frankie. Frankie looks at me and just starts laughing. And that's what I wanted. You know, I wanted to be different, and I wanted to make someone laugh just at the costume of being a pirate and having 2 eye patches. And out of most of my costumes that I've ever dressed up as Halloween, that's probably one of my favorite. And my final memory, and my last favorite memory, going along the same lines as being one of my first non-boxed costumes. The first year I was Jason. The next year I was Freddy Krueger. And I got the mask, I got the hat, and I got the glove. And the funniest thing about it was the mask was thin, and it fit me like a second skin. So when I talked and moved my mouth, it moved with me. And it was cool as hell. So I got home, I put the mask on, and I walked out to the dining room where my mom was, and she had her back turned towards me. So she didn't see that I was wearing a mask. And I said, "Hey, Mom." And she turned around, sees me in the mask and the hat, and scares the shit out of her. She screams, turns around to run away, bumps into the wall, and starts trying to climb the wall to get away. I laughed so hard, and as soon as my mom realized how ridiculous everything was in the situation, she laughed as well. And to this day, that's probably one of my all-time favorite Halloween memories. But that'll do it for my favorite memories of Halloween. Leave a comment down below of what your favorite Halloween memory is. If you liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Please share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.